All right. Well, good morning, brothers and sisters. So nice to see everybody on this very warm day to sign this very important piece of legislation. And we know everyone wants to get back into the shade. So we're going to ask our speakers to be brief and on point. So with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce our host and the fearless leader of Norwich, Mayor Swanjeet Singh. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Susan, and this is my pleasure hosting everyone here. And being somebody from construction, I know when the good quality product has been made, so I can endorse the project. It's really good. So hello, Greenville, and good morning. And thank you. First of all, I would like to welcome Governor Lamont to Norwich and all our guests. Our comptroller is here, Sean, our lieutenant governor is here, our state representatives are here, Senator Austin is here. It is a blessed day. Our council members are here who supported PLA and didn't fear voting for it. So definitely it is my pleasure to see Governor maybe 3-4 times in a month this month. From ribbon cutting of Opportunity Center in Norwich, which will help navigate people in the right direction, to the synagogue in West Hartford, at the bill signing for the hate crime, to the Berlin Mosque where he announced the protection of worship places grant, to this historical site, and welcome and support all our union members here. Just so you know, this is 250th anniversary, and I always try to combine things together. And I was told there are over 250 workers that work every single day. And that is a big achievement for all of us. The reason I enjoy the company of Governor is because he's always curious and willing to learn. He'll always ask me, so what's going on in Norwich? What projects are we talking about? And this shows that somebody do care for Norwich. And in Eastern Connecticut, we do need help. And the projects we are doing in Norwich will help uplift the whole Eastern Connecticut. When we talk about tourism, Dodge Stadium is one of the projects we are working. When we talk about workforce housing, Chestnut Street Mill is one of the projects we are working. When it comes to building parks on waterfront, which will help us elevate the downtown, that's another project we are working. And we are trying to create 500 more jobs in Norwich with Ockham Industrial Center. So these are all good projects. And I do welcome more construction in Norwich because it helps us every day and keeps all of us busy. What I will tell you as a parent and as a resident, what impacts us the most on a daily basis is our schools. And my daughter actually goes to Norwich Public Schools. And I'm very happy we are able to achieve the same standards of education that any other well-resourced community is enjoying. But other big reason for this $385 million project is that we were able to support the PLA in Norwich. And we were able to break that stigma that a lot of communities have about PLAs, that it drives the cost, projects are not done on time. We are on time and on the budget. And despite of all the odds, we were able to lower the taxes in the city of Norwich in our current budget. So I do want to thank all our state leadership for that. And the point to be noted is that we did get 80% reimbursement on these projects. So thank you, Governor. Thank you, our state legislator, for working hard every single day. I do also want to thank Joe Toner, who does a lot of advocacy and keeps us in the check. And that is very important. And I hope other communities are also welcoming PLAs and understand the value of it. And we all talk about affordability, and that's the last point I'm going to make. This is creating affordability for our people. Our Norwich people are working here, saving tons of money in gas. That's the first line of affordability we were able to achieve. Second thing is we were able to achieve is a lot of people who went to these schools are now building these schools. You cannot put price tag on that. That is a very thing that's going to stick with us for the rest of our life. And I also want to quickly acknowledge DRA, which is our architect, CSG, which is our owner's rep, and Downs Construction, who's making this beautiful school for us. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for arranging this event, and we look forward to supporting any other way we can our working class families in our city of Norwich, and I hope other communities learn from us. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mayor. And now I am very proud to introduce the most ardent advocate for the building trades that I know, the director of the building trades, the very shy and retiring Joe Toner.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I'd like to say thank you to Downs Construction. I know Nicole's here this morning. Thank you for setting this up and hosting this and helping us bring in the great group of folks that we have here this morning. And one of the things I like to say, it's great to stand in a pro-worker community with a bunch of pro-worker friends that are with us today. It's fitting. It's fitting to be here. It's fitting to be in Norwich, where the representatives of Norwich, the leadership of Norwich, the council of Norwich, the building committee of Norwich wants to make sure that we are going to make sure that the residents from Norwich are working on the projects. The economic development is going to be had with the residents. Workforce development is going to be had on these projects. Making sure disadvantaged, non-traditional folks have an opportunity to have a career in the building trade. So on behalf of the building trades and our 30,000 members, I'd like to applaud the city of Norwich and their leadership. I'd also like to recognize a few folks that helped bring wage protections in our industry to the forefront. And Kimberly Glassman was with the FFC and currently with Operating Engineers Local 478. Every day, day in and day out, when she was the director of the FFC, this was her drive, to make sure that wage theft was addressed in the state of Connecticut. Since Kimberly had left, Joellen Leone has come over. Joellen is the FFC director, and she's picked up right where Kimberly has left off. So I want to make sure that we recognize we're here today for those two great women that helped us. And the last thing I'll say is this. We're fortunate, all the folks here, the men and women in the unionized construction industry, we're fortunate that we work under collective bargaining agreements, and it's something that we believe in. It's a staple of the United States of America, and we're going to continue to push collective bargaining, not just in the building trades, but everywhere. But for us, to fight for wage theft and workers that are being left behind, they're truly really not our workers, right? We want to make sure that every worker on every project is paid properly and has the dignity they deserve when they go to work every morning. And that's what this bill is about. That's what it's about. So thank you on behalf of the building trades. Thank you once again to all the elected officials here. We're looking forward to the bill signing with the governor, lieutenant governor, and comptroller Scanlon. And our favorite rep from Norwich is here with us also, and I believe he's next, but I'm not going to steal Lieutenant Governor's thunder. But once again, thank you folks for coming out. We appreciate it.
Hi, thank you. All right, thanks everybody. Before we hear from our fabulous controller, we are going to hear from some of our legislative partners who have been fighters for project labor agreements, for funding for this school and for Norwich. And we will start with State Representative Darrell Wilson.
Good morning, everyone. So first I want to welcome you to the neighborhood. This is an exciting day for me. This is my neighborhood. I live only several blocks away, and getting up every single morning, leaving the house, realizing this construction is going on and that I've played an integral role in more individuals being here has been an exciting process. I will say for me, being the vice chair of the Labor and Public Employees Committee, this wage theft comptroller bill is extremely important. More tools in the toolbox to help our men and women who are doing the work every single day on construction sites get the wages that they have earned and deserve is important. And if we are putting public dollars behind projects to make sure that our communities are progressing, that we are building up our neighborhoods, it's important that you are bringing home the money that helps you feed your families every single day. And so being a partner with both Joellen and Jennifer and Joe and Kim Glassman to get this bill over the finish line with the comptroller's office has been an amazing time, and making sure that you can do the things that you want to do and have the quality of life that you have as you continue to build up neighborhoods across the state of Connecticut. I thank you guys for the work you do, and I'm excited for our governor to sign it. Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell. And now we'll hear from State Representative Larry Pemberton.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a blessing to be here today, to see this project, to see all the hard hats. We support the unions 100%. We'll continue to fight for you guys in the state, and we look forward to more development and making it great for our children, to have a blessed school system to go to, which I feel is very important. And I hope everyone feels the way we feel about these projects. We continue to move forward and do great things together. Thank you, union, for all the work you do. We support you guys 100%. Thank you very much.
All right. I want to acknowledge the great state senator, Kathy Austin. She doesn't want to speak because she knows it's really hot, but she was a driver of funding for Norwich and Eastern Connecticut. All right. Along with the rest of the delegation, I also want to acknowledge State Representative Nick Menapace, who joins us, and I'll bring up, there you go, and I will bring up for brief remarks Senator George Cabrera.
Good morning. This is a long time coming. Serving on the Labor Committee with Darrell, and also I want to thank our Lieutenant Governor, our Governor, of course, Sean, for all his hard work on this. This is such a real issue. You all know this because you live it. Misclassification, wage stuff is unfortunately too common in construction, and so this bill is going to go a long way in making sure we have the authority and the power to make contractors pay for violating law and stealing your wages. This is really, really, really important, and I'm really happy that we're here today to celebrate this milestone. I thank the governor for his support and for signing this bill. You know, if you play by the rules, if you pay people what you owe them, and you treat people right, there's no problem. But if you don't, we now have a tool to make you be held accountable. And that's what this legislation is about. So thank you very much.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I am very proud to be here as Lieutenant Governor. In partnership with our governor, we have been fighting for the workers of our state because we know we have hardworking men and women in our building trades, and we have the best workforce in the nation, bar one. And we think that it's very important for fundamental fairness that our workers, particularly our building trades workers, get paid. It's just very simple. If you work hard, you deserve the paycheck. And so we're very proud to be able to sign into law this piece of legislation. It's been something that has been on our to-do list for years, but finally, through hard work, both by our legislators, our labor advocates, and our governor, we have finally empowered our comptroller to be the person who will be able to enforce this law. And if contractors are not paying wages as they should, then there'll be an enforcement mechanism, and our labor commissioner can issue a stop work order. So this is a real tool. It recognizes that labor rights are civil rights, and I want to thank all of the workers across the state of Connecticut for the great things they do for Norwich and our state, but also for the leadership of our governor and our state comptroller. It's my honor to introduce State Comptroller Sean Scanlon.
Good morning, everybody. I'll be brief because I just joked with Senator Austin. I'm going to have a sunburn the color of her skirt if I stay out here any longer. But we're here because we know that, as Senator Cabrera said, wage theft is a real issue. And on job sites across this state, there are men and women that get ripped off. And we passed this bill because 2 years ago, my counterpart, the comptroller of the state of Illinois, said to me, you know what? We had a really big problem in Chicago with our building trades, where all these workers kept getting ripped off by these big contractors that were not paying men and women the fair wages that they earned. And she said, you should go back to Connecticut and you should introduce this bill. So we did that for the first time. And I'm sorry to say that that bill was killed in the state legislature, not because of anybody standing up here. We were all fighting for that, but because of politics. And we decided that we weren't just going to let that happen. We weren't just going to let one failure define this and say, well, we tried. We weren't going to do it anymore. We came back this year, and thanks to the great efforts of people like Kim, who was mentioned, Joellen, the trades that were up there every day, the legislators who were here, Darrell. I'm not just saying this because his home is like 5 blocks away, like he said. This bill would not have passed if it wasn't for him, not just as the state rep from Norwich, but as the vice chair of the Labor Committee, that never gave up. And as a result, in about 5 minutes, we're going to watch the governor sign this, and he's going to put his signature to something that's going to prevent men and women from getting ripped off and ensure that people on job sites every part of the state, from Norwich to Fairfield County, are going to get paid the wages they owed, because for the first time ever, there is a penalty for not doing right by your workers. And that penalty is very simple. It says if you don't pay your workers fairly, then the state is going to not pay you. And what happened in Illinois, thank you to the one person who clapped for that. What happened in Illinois since this bill took effect there is wage theft complaints all but stopped. Because for the first time ever, these contractors knew that if they weren't paying their guys, then they weren't going to get paid. And we know what happens when that happens. They find a way to do the right thing by people. So that is now going to be the law of the land. I'm deeply proud of that. And the last thing I'll say is this. Sometimes we question whether the things that we do actually make a difference. And 2 weeks ago, my son plays ice hockey. One of the dads came up to me and said, hey, can I ask you a question about work? I know I don't like to bother you about work. We don't talk about work. We talk about our kids. But I got to ask you something. I said, sure, what's up? And he said, I'm right now getting screwed over by $80,000 for a contract that I was a subcontractor on at UConn. And the contractor is not paying this subcontractor $80,000 that he's owed them since last summer. That's $80,000 out of the pockets of hardworking men and women in the state that don't have the kind of cash to not just float $80,000. And so that is an example of, if this bill was to be signed today and this was to happen going forward, we can now go after that bad actor and do something about it and make sure that guys get paid the wages that they deserve. So I've probably gone on too long. I'm already the color of Kathy Austin's skirt. But we're here today because this really can make a difference in people's lives. And I'm really proud of the fact to have worked with the governor, to work with the legislature, and more importantly, to work with all of you to make sure that your voices were heard at the Capitol and that you're going to get paid the wages that you deserve going forward. Thanks, guys, for all you do.
All right, just want to acknowledge and thank the Norwich Superintendent of Schools. Thank you, Madam Superintendent, the Norwich School Building Committee, and leadership of Norwich City Council and Board of Education. Thank you all. All right, with that, our fearless leader of Connecticut, Governor Ned Lamont.
It's hot here in Norwich. Everything's happened. Hey, Singh, I love coming back. We keep coming back because you got so much going on. You're doing so much right. Here you are, Madam Superintendent, going from 7 schools, you told me, to 4 modern schools, telling these kids, we love you, you're going to get the best education in the world right here. And each and every one of you guys are doing something really important and making that happen. I'll just tell you, I hear a lot about affordability. How about join a union, get paid the prevailing wage, get decent benefits, and make sure nobody cheats you? That's a pretty good start when you're talking about affordability and making a difference here. And you're right. I love PLAs. So do we all back here. Project Labor Agreements, Connecticut jobs for Connecticut people. Their very biggest PLA in the history of the state right down there at Gold Star Bridge. And we're going to keep going, make sure these are jobs that you can count upon and do this. Let me tell you, they come into my office. You know, you heard Sean say this didn't make it the first time around, and Republicans say, you know, I heard from the lobbyists, they think this is bad for business. And I go, you've never been in business. You've never spent an hour in business. You've never had to build anything. That's what I did for 30 years before doing this job right now. Let me tell you something. You know what small business likes? We hate competing with people that rip off and don't pay the dues. They don't play by the same set of rules. Shortchange you on wages. You're damn right we want to enforce that to make sure we all play by the same set of rules. And then they go, well, you can't hold us responsible for all of our subcontractors. How will I know? That's your job to know as the general contractor. Your job to know, make sure this thing is built from the bottom to the top, paying people good wages, safety rules in place, and don't cut any corners. That's what your job is as a business. I consider this pro each and every one of you, pro for the students in this beautiful town, and it's also pro small business and what it means. Let's sign the bill.
Okay, Sean, you get the first pen. Okay. Kim, you get the second one. There you go. Okay. Help me out here. Okay. George, I'm going to give you that. Okay. And here you go. Okay, Darrell, thank you so much. All right. Mary, there you go. Okay, Mayor, where are you?
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan and Kathy, for doing this.
Yep, absolutely. Do that. Kathy, thank you so much.
Oh no, give it to one of the other guys. Give it to
Joellen.
Okay, same thing's got one. Okay, there you go. There you go. I think we're good with that. All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, the superintendent.